Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our MIS class. Today is our week 7. We're going to continue our last week lecture, which was about e-commerce. Today we're going to talk about e-commerce security and challenges, and also we talk about the payments methods. I was waiting for your friends to join the class. Right now only 6 of you present in the class. We have to start because we already missed 15 minutes of our class. Guys, do you have my voice clear enough? Okay, good. So last week we talked about e-commerce, and you were supposed to do an assignment which was about compare and contrast between e-commerce, M Commerce, and C-commerce. But till now that I just checked my email, only one of you send me this assignment. Only Mr. Mustafa Ghaffari. Only Mr. Mustafa sent me his homework. Okay. Because I was expecting that maybe all of you will do some research about e-commerce and provide me with your homeworks, but only Mr. Ghaffari. Mr. Ghaffari, you are present now. If you want to talk about this 3 item, e-commerce, M-commerce, and C-commerce for your friend, I can pass you the mic before going to today's lecture. If you want to talk about this, I can give you 5 to 10 minutes.
Sir, I don't have the rights.
Mr. Khaliqyar, but I think you should check your no speaker because your friends have my voice. Let me check. Mr. Mustafa. Unfortunately, we cannot hear Mr. Mustafa, and he's disconnected from the class. Okay, no problem. You can send your homework by tomorrow, but I was expecting to make it ready for today's class to talk about it and discuss about it in the class. But no problem, you can send me tomorrow. Only Mr. Ghaffari is present now. If Mr. Mustafa, you want to talk about your homework? Okay. We can hear you now, Mr. Mustafa. Mr. Mustafa? unfortunately, I cannot hear Mr. Mustafa. I don't know, friends, if you can hear him, please let me know. But unfortunately, we cannot hear you, Mr. Mustafa. I changed your role to the presenter, but still no voice from you. Okay. Okay, let's do our lecture for today. Mr. Faisal, you have any question or something? Mr. Obaidullah? Mr. Obaidullah, if you wanna talk about it, you can talk now because we cannot hear Mr. Mustafa, unfortunately. Mr. Obaidullah, you wanna talk about e-commerce, M Commerce, and C Commerce? Guys, you can hear me? Do you have my voice or not? No problem, Mr. Obaidullah. Anything you prepare, you can talk about it, no problem. Good. If you want to talk, please let me know. If not, we can do our today's lecture. No, unfortunately, I also have no voice from you. But I cannot hear you. Yeah, now
Hello?
it's
Can
okay.
you hear me?
It's okay now. Okay, Mr.
Okay.
Obaidullah, you can start.
Okay. Just I have in the assignment that I have provided. I have a little bit about M Commerce, which means mobile commerce. This term is used to refer the growing practices of financial and promotional activities with the wireless means or with the wireless tools. This term is our e-commerce means for, or it is short term of mobile commerce. Yes. And also shows us or explain us that mobile can do a very good commerce or a business. And this kind of commerce or M-commerce is using cell phones, personal digital assistants, and other handheld, you can say, tools or means. But most of the times it's used. We can use these tools with the internet access, because internet access is much important for these kind of devices. We can have the example of M-commerce, or the tool for M-commerce is the mobile, especially SMS or text message in the mobile. We send a message, for example, to a company or to a shop, and they send us that we can say that the things or the appliances that we need, they send us through the SMS. Or service providers, we buy something from a company or from a shop, and then we send the tracker of that thing that we shopped from the bazaar. We send it through the SMS, or we receive SMS about that thing that we bought from a company. It is also a good example of M-commerce. Yes, just this I had about the M-commerce. Thanks a lot.
Okay, very good, thank you. And Mr. Mustafa, if you want to talk, you can try again now.
Okay.
Yeah, we have your voice now. Yes, it's okay now.
Thank you, sir, for giving the opportunity for me. I have prepared according to the task which was given to us.
Can you please speak louder?
Okay. Now it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay, better.
Is it okay, sir? Okay.
Yeah, it's fixed.
As I sent you a file which was I prepared and gated from some of the internet websites. I prepared a little bit information regarding the e-commerce and also mobile commerce, also difference between e-commerce and M-commerce. Just briefly, I would like to explain it to our classmates. What's e-commerce? E-commerce is defined in multiple views, but generally transacting or facilitating business on the internet is called e-commerce, and it is stand for electronic commerce, which all our classmates may know about it. We have lots of examples of e-commerce. The most important examples of e-commerce are online shopping, electronic payments, online auction, internet banking, also as well as online ticketing or online booking. We have three common or three famous kinds of e-commerce, which is B2b or business to business. The second one is B2C or business to consumers, and the third form is consumer to consumer or C2C. Can you hear my voice, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Just briefly, I'm talking about this because I don't want to take the time of our classmates. We have some specialized forms of e-commerce, which is the M-commerce, which included in e-commerce, which is the M-commerce, are recently established the mobile commerce. Also the F-commerce, which is the Facebook commerce, written here. The M-commerce recently used to use the mobile devices for doing any kind of business or transaction through mobile devices. There are some a few differences between the e-commerce and the M-commerce, which I briefly brief it to or explain it to your classmates. E-commerce is available to only those places where we have network connectivity, while the M-commerce or mobile commerce is free of this one. E-commerce is not only needs internet, but the majority of times, especially when we are using desktop computers, it needs the electricity as well. But the M-commerce is free of this action as well. M-commerce is easier to get to and in comparison to e-commerce, but the present M-commerce is a little bit costlier than using e-commerce. In addition, previously the video conferencing was not available to M-commerce, but nowadays it is available to M-commerce as well. Thank you, sir. Any question?
Oh, okay, thank you, Mr. Afadi.
Thank you too. Thank you too, sir.
Okay. Okay, your friend didn't talk about e-commerce. I provide you with a PDF file. E-commerce, e-business, and C-commerce, a decade of technological revolution. I'll send you this file later. Let's talk about very, it's like a paper, very shortly, talk about these terms. In one part here, it's talk about C-commerce. As you can read, let me make it a little bit bigger. So, C-commerce stands for collaborative commerce. It also has some other name. You can see here, private industrial network and e-business website. C-commerce basically refers to business environment where a community of business up and down and industry supply chain collaborate with each other in order to improve the business process of each firm within that community. Each business helping the other businesses to become better at what they do by exposing their own internal system to other firms within the community. Sharing information and knowledge are key aspects in a C-commerce relationship. Okay, guys, you can hear me? Okay, good. So, C-commerce is a collaborative environment for businesses. They can help each other by sharing their information and knowledge. Firms collaborate on activities such as product design, resource planning, forecasting, replenishment, supply and demand visibility, and also marketing coordination. The main idea is to create a customer-centric environment very important. The main idea of collaborative commerce or C-commerce is to create a customer-centric environment where a large selection of good quality products and services are readily available to the customer, that they become return loyal customers. You remember we talked about the customer loyalty. It's very interesting here. Typically, only one member is the community in the community will have direct access to the customer. However, all other businesses in the community would benefit from the success of this one business through the increased demand on their own supplies that make up the final product and or final product or services sold to the customer. So, C-commerce can be described as being both e-commerce and e-business. It's very interesting, nicely described the C-commerce here for you guys. I can send you this file later, or if you use the record file, you can refer to the record file, and I already highlighted the important parts for you. Okay guys, and your friends talk about e-commerce and M Commerce, and I talk a little bit for you about the C-commerce. And also there is some websites that you can find information about. But the best thing I can find for you, is this PDF file that talk about C-commerce clearly and nicely. And your friend Mr. Faisal talked about T-commerce. T-commerce is a new term that businesses and specialists just talk about it these days. It's not practical. They refer it to, for example, touch commerce or television commerce or something like this. They are trying to build something to make it, make this type of commerce, online commerce, easier. They mostly refer it to television commerce, that use the television to facilitate transaction over the internet. It's right now it's on the research area. It's not practical yet. The new generation of TVs, you can connect your TV to the internet. You can have YouTube, Facebook, different websites in your TV, and they are thinking about doing business online through your TV. That they call it T-commerce, but as I said, it's not practical yet. It's just under research phase. Okay, guys, let's move to today's lecture. So, e-commerce, electronic commerce payment system. We're not going very detailed in these things, payment and security challenges, because if we want to go very detailed, we need a whole semester for just lecturing e-commerce. I just tried to write you some terms and some definition that you may need to know when you want to talk about e-commerce, or you want to do some research about e-commerce or its applications. So I try to brought you some definition and some terms that you need to know. As you know, we are in the middle of payment revolution. The online payment and electronic payment taking the place of cash and check. A number of factors come into play in determining whether a particular method of e-payment achieves critical mass. Payment card. Electronic card that contain information that can be used for payment purpose. You may be familiar with this type of cards: credit card, charge card, debit card. Credit card and charge card is almost same. You have a good banking history with your bank, and they provide you some credit. You can purchase something online by using your credit card, and then, for example, based on your contract, at the end of the month, you have to pay back. Or debit card, when you can use debit card when you have money in your account. And for processing your card online, there's two phases. First, authorization, and then settlement. Authorization tries to determine whether a buyer's card is active and whether the customer has sufficient funds. And the settlement is transferring money from the buyer's to the merchant's account. So first authenticate and authorize, and then settlement, the payment. There are three basic configurations for processing online payment used by merchants. First, own the payment software. Use a point-of-sale system, they call it POS, operated by an acquirer, and use a POS operated by a payment service provider. I don't know, in Afghanistan, you can do online purchasing yet or not, or if you use your bank card, debit card, or even credit card. Acquirer means the provider of this POS, point of sale system POS. I'm trying to ask you whether you use POS machine in your country or not. When you go to a shop or you go to a merchant, instead of paying by cash, you can use the POS machine and use your card to do your payment, to settle your payment. I don't know. You can use in Afghanistan. Oh, it's not common. You're mostly paying by cash, right? Okay, good. Some company tries to start. Okay, very good. Okay, so now you mostly use cash, but little by little, gradually, your banking industry moved toward the new technologies. So what is PSP? Payment Service Provider, a third-party service connecting a merchant's e-commerce system to the appropriate acquiring bank or financial institution. PSPs must be registered with the various card associations they support. So as you can hear, you can find in this definition different parties involved: merchants, financial institution or banks, and also card associations. So here we can have the key participant in processing card payment online, including the following: acquiring bank, credit card association, customer, issuing bank, merchant, payment processing system, processor. Different parties involved in doing this type of payment online or by using your card. So we need to consider the fraudulent card transaction. The key tool using combating fraud is AVS and CVN. AVS stands for Address Verification System, and CVN stands for Card Verification System. Acquiring bank, guys, refer to the banks that provide you with the card, and the card it's under control of some association, some financial institution or something that they provide support this online payment. So about combating fraud, we said we have AVS and CVN. AVS stands for Address Verification System. Detect fraud by comparing the address entered on a web page with the address information on file with the cardholder's issuing bank. Yes. When I say card, yes, it's MasterCard, Visa card, or any American Express or any other cards that you can use, or even your local bank cards, debit cards, or even your credit cards. All have almost the same processing system. Card verification number. The other methods for combating fraud is card verification number. Detect fraud by comparing the verification number printed on the signature stripe on the back of the card with the information on the file with the cardholder's issuing bank. Here you can see a smart card, an electronic card containing an embedded microchip. You can see it here, embedded microchip that enables predefined operation or the addition, deletion, or manipulation of information on the card. So this one is an example of the card we already talked about. This one is Visa. From the other point of view, we can divide this card to the two separate categories: contact card and contactless. Contact one is a smart card containing a small gold plate on the face that, when inserted in a smart card reader, make contact and passes data to and from the embedded microchip. But in contactless, A smart card with an embedded antenna by means of which data so this one use antenna. I'm trying to highlight it for you, but the system is not working in this one. Okay, no problem. By means of which data and application are passed to and from a card reader unit or other device without contact between the card and the card reader. You remember we already talked about RFID technology. You remember that we talked about RFID in our networking class. These type of cards, use some antenna that without any contact they can transmit the data and information between card and reader. It's vastly in use these days. And a smart card reader activities and reads the content of the chip on a smart card, usually passing the information to a host system. So in a host system, we have a smart card operating system, special system that handles file management, security, input, output, and command execution, and provide an application programming interface for a smart card. So we have card, reader, and host system. Also, we can have e-check. E-check, a legal valid electronic version of representation of a paper check. Automated Clearing House ACH network is a nationwide batch-oriented electronic funds transfer system that provides for the interbank clearing of electronic payment for participating financial institutions. So this method also been used between the banks and the different banks to do their transaction and check the online payments, check the credibility of the customers, their online activity, and their e-check system. Here in this slide, you can see the process of e-check with, for example, authorize.net. Start from here. You as a customer, through internet, go to your bank website and try to do some activities. Then your website, your bank check with authorize.net. Authorize.net check its banks and check with ACH network, and ACH check with customers bank, and this process return to authorize.net again, and authorize.net pay the amount to merchant's bank account. So different parties, I brought this slide just to show you that when you try to purchase something online, different parties involved, as you can see here, to check the credibility of your account. B2b Electronic Payments. The goal of financial supply chain management is to optimize account payable, account receivable, cash management, working capital, transaction costs, financial risk, financial administration. So for optimizing all these activities, businesses prefer to do their B2B activities online these days. An enterprise invoice presentment and payment, EIPP, presenting and paying B2B invoices online. This is like a a standard or a protocol between the B2B parties, business to business online activities. EIPP options like ACH network already talked about. Purchasing card, letter of credit. Purchasing card is special purpose payment card issued to a company's employee to be used solely for purchasing non-strategic material and services up to present dollar limit. For example, I think in Middle East countries also, maybe in Afghanistan also, the the company and organization give a card to their employees and to their person who work for them to buy something. There is some limited credit in these cards, and they can use this card for buying some materials and doing some services. And the other thing is a letter to credit, or LC. LC is a written agreement by a bank to pay the seller on account of the buyer a sum of money upon presentation of certain documents. Any one of you guys use LC, have been using LC or not? Okay, good. Mr. Muhammad Aziz, Mr. Aman Nawabi using LC. Mr. Muhammad Aziz say no. If any one of you guys have been using LC, letter of credit, do you wanna share your experience with me and your friends and classmates, talk about it? Mr. Nawabi, do you want to talk about it?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we can hear you, Mr. Nawabi.
Actually, I was using the letter of credit most of the time when we were trying to get a project from the companies or government. They always ask for letter of credit, and they want to see if we have sufficient funds for getting this project or a particular project. So they ask for a letter of credits, and we get it from the bank, and we send it to the company who has asked for it. So we most of the time we use a letter of credit for getting a project to show the client that we have sufficient credit or support from the bank to complete the project.
Yes, exactly. As you said, and as you also can see here, it's the agreement by a bank to pay the seller on account of the buyer. If the buyer doesn't pay, the bank guarantees that the seller can have its money, no problem. It happens. There is no such a problem.
Yes, it's somehow like a guarantee. Yes, it's somehow like a guarantee. We get the letter to the client, and if we couldn't accomplish the project in the right way, so they will the amount of the money which is in the letter of credit, it's freezed in the bank. So if we completed the project on the time or in the requested manner, so they will give it back to us. Otherwise, they can keep that money from the bank.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mr. Navabi.
Thank you, sir.
So these are about the e-commerce payment method and some definition that I thought you may need to know when you wanna do a research or study about or doing e-commerce. The other things is about the fraud and security. Fraud and security are also a challenging issue these days, you know, by increasing the number of people and companies using e-commerce and purchasing and doing online businesses and online activities, the number of fraud and security issues also increasing, and people try to, you know, do some malicious activities. So first of all, what is e-commerce security? Computer security refers to the protection of data, networks, computer programs, computer power resources, and other elements of computerized information system. CSI Computer Crime and Security Survey. This one is the annual security survey of U.S. corporation, government agency, financial and medical institution, and university, conducted jointly by the FBI and the Computer Security Institute. Here in this graph, you can see the major computer attack incidents in 2008. Virus, 50%, insider abuse, 44%, laptop theft, 42%, unauthorized access, 29%, denial of service, 21%, instant messaging abuse, 21%, boots, 20%, and theft or loss of customer data, 17%. So these are major attacks. And the major security methods used in the same year: insider abuse. For example, a person of your company, you know, by doing some malicious activities, stealing something or steal some, you know, information, they call it insider abuse. And boots, it's a method to, you know, infect some system, some computers, that system working for you to, you know, control the other system and get access to other system. And the major security method used in the same year is antivirus software, 97%, firewalls, VPN, anti-spyware, encryption, intrusion detection system, vulnerability, web URL filtering, intrusion prevention system, application level firewall, encryption of data, log management software, service-based access control list. These are all different, you know, methods to combat that fraudulent, you know, activities. In the following slide, we may talk about some of these methods, but you know, based on our time, and our class is not e-commerce class. You know, as I told you at the beginning, e-commerce itself needs a whole semester to talk about it. So we just bring something for you to make you familiar with e-commerce and its issue and challenges. So the information security problem. The drivers of e-commerce security problems the Internet vulnerable design. So the experts believe that the Internet design itself is vulnerable. Domain, you are familiar with domain name system or DNS, google.com. It's a domain name that's referred to an address. We already talked about this thing in our networking class. Each computer in a network has got its unique IP address. So this address, which is uniquely identified, each computer can, increase the vulnerability of our system. Internet underground economy. E-markets for stolen information made up of thousands of websites that sell credit card number, social security number, other data such as numbers of bank accounts, social network IDs, password, and much more. So we have underground economy for selling the information of people, banking, or sensitive information of people. We call it Internet underground economy. And this one, Keystroke Logging or key logging, you may are familiar with it, a method of capturing and recording user keystroke. For example, by using some software or some sort of hardware, people try to steal. For example, your ID and password you key in. You're using your keyboard. They attach some hardware to your system to steal whatever you type, or maybe they hack your system and install some software to send back to them whatever you type in your system. These are different methods that they use to steal your information. But there is some basic e-commerce security terminology. For example, business continuity plan, a plan that keeps the business running after disaster occurs. Each function in the business should have a valid recovery capability plan. Or cybercrime refer to international crimes carried out on the internet. There are some definition you need to know. Exposure is the estimated cost, loss, or damage that can result if a threat exploits a vulnerability. And fraud is, when we say fraud, it means any business activity that uses fraudulent practices or devices to rob another of property or other rights. Malware or malicious software is a generic term for malicious software, the software that installed in your computer to do some bad activities in your system. Phishing is a crimeware technique to steal the identity of target company to get the identity of its customer. Phishing is very common these days. Risk, the probability that a vulnerability will be known and used. And social engineering is a type of non-technical attack that uses some roles to trick user into revealing information or performing an action that compromises the computer or network. So social engineering, it's not very technical. They use some way to trick you to get your account and access to your account and to your network. Spam is the electronic equivalent of junk mail. Vulnerability, when we say vulnerability, we mean weaknesses in software or other mechanism that threaten the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of an asset. It can be directly used by a hacker to gain access to a system or network. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the our triangle of security: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Later on, we'll talk about it. And zombies is computers infected with malware that are under the control of a spammer, hacker, or other criminal. So, spam is, as you can see here in the parentheses, it says sending unsolicited bulk messages. The unused message that you don't want it, they send it to your account or send it to your website, and they by sending so many emails and junk mails, they involve your system. We call it spam. It's a method of involving your system in some unused activities. Or zombies, I think in later on in some slides we can have such a zombie, like maybe sometimes you saw some movie that people become zombies. They are under control of some other people that unpurposely and unconsciously try to affect the other people. In computer environment also like this, they affect some computer, that computer without any notice, because of the problem and the affected software or hardware, they try to do some fraudulent or malicious activity to other systems that they can reach to. So we talk about the vulnerability and problems, and now we need to have some security scenario and requirements in e-commerce. E-commerce security requirements are authentication, authorization, and non-repudiation. Authentication is talk about verification or confirmation, process to verify, assure the real identity of an individual, computer program, or e-commerce website. Authorization is talking about permission or approval, process of determining what the authenticated entity is allowed to access and what operation it is allowed to perform. So first authenticate the people, and after that authentication, based on that authentication, they can know these people have permission to and already allowed to access to what kind of operation and to what level. And non-repudiation is a service that provides proof of the integrity and origin of data, assurance that online customers or trading partners cannot falsely deny, repudiate their purchase or transaction. So we're going to talk a little bit more about some technical attack methods. First of all, virus. I think you all now have some information about what is virus. Virus is a piece of software code that inserts itself into a host, including the operating system, in order to propagate. It requires that its host program be run to activate it. And worm also is a software program that runs independently, consuming the resources of its host in order to maintain itself, and that is capable of propagating a complete working version of itself onto other machines. Your friend asks, what is propagate? Propagate, how to say, means, let's say, reproduce themselves. You know, the virus and the worm, when affected your system, they reproduce themselves, and you know, they increase in number to consume your system resources. Yes, and your friend Mr. Miss Krishna Orya said self-reproduction. Yes, exactly, reproducing. Trojan horse is a program that appears to have a useful function but that contains a hidden function that presents a security risk. Banking Trojan, a Trojan that comes to life when computer owners visit one of a number of online banking or e-commerce sites. These are all technical attack methods. Here in this slide, you can see how a computer virus can spread. As you can read here, it's mentioned that just as a biological virus disrupts living cells to cause disease, a computer virus introduced maliciously invades the inner working of computer and disrupt normal operation of the machine. So, in number one, a virus starts when a programmer writes a program that embeds itself in a host program. In the second phase, the virus attaches itself and travels anywhere that the host program or piece of data travels, whether on CD, local area network, or bulletin boards. And finally, in the last method, the virus is set off by either a time limit or set off circumstances, possibly a simple sequence of computer operation by the user. Example, open an attachment. Then it does whatever the virus programmer intended, whether it is to print, have a nice day, or erase some of your information, or damage some of your hardware in your system. So this is a method how a computer virus can spread in your system. The other technical attack method is denial of service, or DOS attack. An attack on a website in which an attacker uses specialized software to send a flood of data packets to the target computer with the aim of overloading its resources. So denial of service, by sending so many data and information, they overload your system. And botnet is a jargon term for a collection of software agents or robots that run separately and automatically. The term is most commonly associated with malicious software, but it can also refer to a network of computers using distributed computing software. So a huge number, hundreds of thousands of hijacked internet computers that have been set up to forward traffic, including spam and viruses, to other computers on the internet. Previously, very shortly, I defined the botnet for you. Here it's a very specific and by detailed definition for botnet. So a huge number of hijacked internet computers that have been set up to forward traffic, including spam or viruses, to other computers or the internet. Here in this exhibition, you can see from phishing to financial fraud and crime. Start here. Phishing, you remember we defined phishing as a method to access to a company website or system or network to steal their customer or their employee information. Phishing methods start from here. This guy is the phisher, and here we have our victims. the confidential and sensitive information have been stolen by this phisher. And in the fourth phase, we have A and B. The phisher itself can commit financial fraud or crime, which makes him criminal, or can sell it in an underground e-market. You remember we talked about underground economy. So phisher, after stealing the confidential or sensitive information, they can commit the financial fraud, or they can sell it in an underground market that result in a criminal activity. So till here we call him phisher, but if he use this information to commit a fraud, or if he sell it in an underground e-market, then this guy become a criminal that we can sue him to the court of law. So phishing is the criminally fraudulent processes of attempting to acquire sensitive information such as user, password, and credit card details by masked as a trustworthy entity in an electronic communication. Here is very interesting. It may require tremendous skill to detect that the website is fake. Here, your friend asks for a model or picture. Here you can see how phishing is accomplished. First here, hacker insert malicious URL, the fake website. For example, consider you key your bank website. It's the hacker inserted malicious URL that redirect you to a fake website. It's exact as same as your bank front page website, but it's the fake one. So user expected to visit a good website, as I said, your bank website, but this hacker, by using this phishing method, redirect you to the bad website. Bad sites sent obfuscated exploited for vulnerability on end user system. So the bad website is still, I told you, it's exactly the same as your bank website. So you, without any notice, you key in your ID and password, and the bad website steal your information. Here in this phase, the malware installed and steal. Yeah, the malware installed and they steal your information. And once they steal your information, they themselves go to your website and log into your website, your bank website, and they can do whatever activity they want. Here you can see here this in the sixth step, malware send private data to hacker. But there is no worries because, for example, we talk about banking. The banks, using a high level of security, they use a different level of security to check the credibility of. No, we cannot say a phisher with F-I-S-H-E-R. It's another method. That phisher is the guys who go for phishing. But this one, phisher, is the method. Yeah, okay. So this one is very important these days. But as I told you, the banking industry using very high level of security these days. They use different methods to authenticate and to authorize their customers, and they, for example, they use your mobile phone, they send you SMS, different level of security they use to prevent and to combat these fraudulent activities. Fraud on the internet, click fraud, identity theft. Click fraud is type of fraud that occurs in pay-per-click advertising when a person, automated system, or computer program simulate individual click on banner or other online advertising method. Identity theft is fraud that involves stealing on an identity of person, using that identity and pretending to be someone else in order to steal money or get other benefits. You know, in the countries, developed countries, they have so many, you know, online activity and business, online business activities. They have cyber law, and they have, you know, crime code for all these activities. They have penalties and prison, everything, you know, defined in their law. You know, for example, I myself, for example, when I did my MBA in university in Malaysia, I had, you know, 3 credit hours a course for cyber law in Malaysia. Also in other countries they have cyber law, but in developing country, for example, I know in Iran it just you know, start to define some law and using you know, some law activity to sue the you know, this kind of peoples to the court of law. But I don't know about Afghanistan. If you have any information about this type of law, cyber law in Afghanistan, you can share with me and with your friends. And let me doing this part very fast because we're running out of time. Email spam, search engine spam, different type of spam. I will email you the slide. You can read this part by yourself. And here, CIA security tried. I told you confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the 3 security concepts important to information on the internet. Confidentiality talks about assurance of data privacy and accuracy, keeping private or sensitive information from being disclosed to unauthorized individual entities or processes. So this one for confidentiality. For integrity, talk about assurance that stored data has not been modified without authorization. A message that was sent is the same message that was received. And availability is talk about assurance that access to data, the website, or other e-commerce data service is timely, available, reliable, and restricted to unauthorized user. You can see here the CIA security triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The defense access control mechanism that determine who can legitimately use a network resources. Passive token, active token. This system using token, a storage device, for example, like a magnetic stripe that contain a secret code used in a 2-factor authentication system. Example, plastic card with magnetic stripe containing a hidden code. An active token, small standalone electronic device that generate one-time password used in a 2-factor authentication system. Different methods for authentication to prevent fraudulent activity. Or biometric control, an automated method for verifying the identity of a person based on physical or behavioral characteristics. For example, Irish or you know, fingerprint, different, I think if not mistaken, we have 7 or 8 biometric. Each person got a unique biometric control. Authentication system that identify a person by measurement of biological characteristics such as fingerprint, iris, pattern, facial feature, or voice. Here, fingerprint, iris, facial feature, and voice. 4. I think we also have another 3 or 4 biometric system, which using for security these days. Or the other method is encryption and the one-key symmetric system. Encryption is the process of scrambling or encrypting a message in such a way that is difficult, expensive, or time-consuming for an unauthorized person to unscramble or to decrypt it. Private key encryption is an encryption system that uses the same key to encrypt and decrypt messages. So this one, encryption and decryption, is also vastly been used. The sensitive information encrypt first, and in the receiver machine, in the destination, they decrypt the information again. For example, see here, plain text message, sender encrypt it first by using the private key. It's a ciphertext. Ciphertext is a, it's the plain text is changed in such a way that you cannot find it. It's very difficult and timely to find. It needs some algorithms, some mathematical algorithms to find the main plain text. And the decryption, using the private key to decrypt that ciphertext to the receiver plain text message. There are different mathematical algorithms for doing encryption and decryption. So if you're interested in this encryption and decryption, you can do some research about it. Public key encryption, private key encryption, different issues and challenges related to this one. Digital signature or digital certificate validate the sender and timestamp of a transaction, so it cannot be later claimed that the transaction was unauthorized or invalid. Or digital envelope, everything is digital, digital e-check, digital envelope, everything. The combination of the encrypted original message and the digital signature using the recipient's public key. Certificate, authorities, CAs, SSL, secure socket layer. CAs is the third parties that issue digital certificate, and the SSL is a protocol that utilize standard certification or certificate for authentication and data encryption to ensure privacy or confidentiality. And firewall, the defense 2 security e-commerce network firewall. You may already familiar with firewall, a single point between 2 or more networks where all incoming and outgoing traffic must pass. Choke point. The device authenticates, control, and logs all traffic, usually located on the gateway. A gateway in a network is a place that internal network connected to external network. So usually firewall installed there. Or VPN, virtual private network. I think we already talked about it in our networking class. A network that uses the public internet to carry information but remain private by using encryption to scramble the communication, authentication to ensure that information has not been tampered with, and access control to verify the identity of anyone using the network. Intrusion detection system, or IDS, is a special category of software that can monitor activity across a network or on a host computer, watch for suspicious activity, and take automated action based on what it sees. HoneyNet is a network for honeypots. Honeypot is a production system. Example: firewall, routers, web server, database, all the different devices and parts of a network you can consider here that looks like it does real work, but that acts as a decoy, trap, or bait, and is watched to study how network intrusion occur. So honeypot or honeynet is a method to check our system. We make a fake system as like a trap to to monitor and watch the activity of our system. Penetration test or pen test is another method, a method of evaluating the security of a computer system or network by simulating an attack from a malicious source. So honeynet and pen test, it's almost same. They use their own methods to evaluate the security of our system. Defense 3 talks about general control and other defense mechanisms. General control is control established to protect the system overall, regardless of the specific application. For example, protecting hardware and controlling access to the data center. Or application control that are intended to protect specific application. These are most general activities. Or intelligent agent. Intelligent agents are software applications that have some degree of reactivity, autonomy, and adaptability as is needed in unpredictable attack situations. An agent is able to react or adapt itself based on changes occurring in its environment. So an agent can decide and is flexible in this environment to prevent and to attack the unpredictable malicious and fraudulent activities. In this slide, we can see an intelligent agent. Agent is collective communicate over secure links on the internet or an intranet. Malicious agents with horns here, this one is a malicious agent, are detected and cut off from the collective. Property authenticated data is allowed into the collective, but bad information is rejected. See here, bad information rejected. So different agents working together, and once they detect the malicious agents, they cut it off from the system. This one also is a method for securing our system and network. So these are all about the security issue and challenges that I thought you may need to know. You may already be familiar with some of them, but you may need to know more information about them in an online environment. Thank you very much for your attention to today's lecture, which was about e-commerce payment method and security and fraudulent activity challenges. Thank you very much for your attention. If there is any question, idea, or thoughts, please do not hesitate to ask. You're most welcome. Yeah, of course. I will. I think last week, these days, I was overseas and traveling around. I forgot to send you the slides. I will email you the slides. Yeah, of course, no problem. Yeah, of course. I think only first 3 weeks I sent you the slide, right? Okay, I will send you the other slide, and also I will email you this PDF file which talk about e-commerce, e-business, and c-commerce. The other things, guys, please pay attention. Next week is week 8. I'm going to talk about knowledge management and collaborative system. And the other coming weeks, it's your turns. Your presentation will start by week 9. You remember? By week 8, I finish all the lectures. From week 9 to week 12 is your turn to present. In week 9 and week 10, you're supposed to present your case studies, and week 11 and 12 present your e-commerce online e-commerce business plan. So please be ready and well prepared for your presentation. So you only have, from now on, you only have 2 weeks for your presentation. Please pay attention. Okay, thank you very much for your time and your attention to today's class and lecture. Yeah, of course, the same group. You have group for 2 assignments, case study and business plan, both same group. Okay, you too have a nice time. Thank you very much and have a good weekend. Okay, goodbye, have a good night.